Welcome everyone. Today we have another new episodes and new discussions about the economy. And economy is a very important in terms of present conditions because now the world is fixing their business. The world is trying to solve their business. So when they are trying to solve their business, the major thing is that they need to be very much careful that how they can uh, contribute for the economy. The last session I discuss about the demand and supply issues. So demand and supply is very important. So this times I gonna discuss about the consumer goods and services, how it's gonna impact on us and how it's actually create some things in our economy. So today's topic is, what does utility mean? The statistics or pleasure that people receive from consuming a goods or services. So utility means, like example, when we consume a good or a services, so it give us some satisfactions. It's called utilities. Let's say we consume food for our dinners, so it give us some satisfactions and pleasures. This is means utility for us. So we have to understand the TU, total utility. The total utility is that the satisfaction received from all the units of a good or services consumed. So when we are satisfied and we get received from all other units of a goods and services we consume. Let's say in my homes, I stay at home, stay a specific place. I take regular foods. We have electricity supplies. We have internet connections. I take necessary gym services, or I go outside when I required. So this is the everyday. We take lot of goods and lot of services for our consumption. So when we become satisfied about these things, then the whole things we consume a specific day, it's called total utility. What does a consumer buy one bundle of goods rather than another's? Consumer make one choice over another depending on their marginal utility. So what is the marginal utility? So marginal utility is the change in total utility from one additional unit of a goods and services. Let's say a consumer took over he targeted that this amount of food I will take for my dinners. So let's say we take one plate of rice and vegetables and fish, and we take salads and fruits. So what we take as our food, this is called consumers goods. And on the other hands, like what type of what the total amount of goods is called the marginal utility. What is the law of diminishing marginal utility? It is extra satisfaction of a good or services decline as people consume more in a given period. So when we have a extra satisfaction of a goods, and we have our specific services, and when it's declines, we example, we cannot at the present, we have to take this amount of medicines, or we have to reduce our food because every day we have to stay a lot of time in our home. So this is called the marginal utility. So the marginal utility is mu. So if you see this diagram, in this diagram we have few things. Number one, quantity of Big Macs, and another was marginal utilities. So marginal utilities is that, let's say if we took one big Mac, then our marginal utility is 8 per Big Macs. When we took two quantity of Mac, then our marginal utility is 4. So this is called actually the marginal utilities. Second things, if you focus on the quantity of Big Mac and total utilities, then you can understand that uh, uh, total utility is that, let's say we consume one quantity of Big Mac and total utility is 8. So this is the total utility. So when we consume two Big Mac, that time our total utility is 12. So when is total utility maximized? When the marginal utility per dollar of each good is equal and the entire budget is spent, that times we call the total utility maximized. What is the consumer equilibrium? In when total utility cannot increase by spending more of a given budget on one good and spending less on one another good. At that time we said that it's a equilibrium point. For example, even though water provide a greater utility than diamonds, why are diamond are more expensive? This is very basic question. So in that situation we can identify that water is plentiful in most of the world, so its marginal utility is low, and vice versa to diamonds. So based on the availability, actually these water utilities and this kind of things actually grow. And most important thing is that our utility and our demand and supply, many things actually change based on the total utility. So what is marginal utility for Big Mac? A marginal utility for Big Mac, when example, we take one marginal utility. So for the Big Mac, it will be 8. For the milkshake, it will be 6. When we take 2, so it will be 4, and milkshake will be 4. When you take 3, then the Big Mac's marginal utility will 2, and a marginal equality for mixed milk will be 1. When we take 4 Big Macs, so our marginal utility will be 1, and the mixture marginal utility will be 0. And if we focused on the price of this Big Mac and Big Milkshake, it will be $2. Consumer equilibrium. So consumer equilibrium is marginal utility divided by price. So it means that when is marginal utility is B and price divided by price is B, that time marginal utility will be Z and the marginal price will be Z. So consumer equilibrium price on of Big Mac. So at present situation, let's say its price is $2. So when we find that marginal utilities of the Big Mac is 4 units, and then the price of a Big Mac is $2, on the same times we have the 4 utilities and the $2. So consumer equilibrium actually, consumer equilibrium per bag is $1. So mu of a Big Mac divided by price of a Big Mac is greater than marginal utility of milkshake divided by price of the milkshake. So uh, in that situations, marginal utility is 4, and we have $1, and marginal utility is 4 divided by $2. So if we focus on this different kind of mask, medical equipments, healthcare things, and many more things, is demand is increasing. What the issue? Why this kind of demand is increasing? This demand is increasing because this the marginal utilities, like at present in the markets, many of the people actually affected by the COVID. As they affected by the COVID, that's why this ppe and this kind of things demand is increased. What happens to the number of Big Macs bought when the price drops? To restore maximum total utility, the consumer spend more on Big Macs. What does the discussion of the utilities refills? Basically, this utilities demand, it's actually discussed about the law of demand. When actually our demand of any of the things is increasing, so our marginal utility is also decreasing. increasing. On the other hand, when the demand, let's say like when the demand marginal utility is increase, so our demand also decrease. So the law of demand, that is the price of the good declines, consumer will buy more unit of the goods, and vice versa. So this is the basic things. What are the two alternative explanations of demand? So when we go for the two alternative explanation, one is income effect, another one is substitute effect. What is income effect? The change is quantity demand of a good or services caused by a change in real income, purchasing power. So when our purchasing power increasing, let's say our income is increase, our purchasing power also increase. What does income effect show? As price declines, your real income increasing your buying power, so you buy more units, and other things. So in that present situations, as people income is decreasing now, in the COVID periods, our income also decrease in many part. What is the substitute effect? The change in quantity demand of a good or services caused by the change in its price relevant to the substitute. What does substitute effect shows? Suppose the price of a Pepsi falls and the price of a Coke remain unchanged, you will buy more Pepsi because relatively it is less expensive than Coke. What does substitute and income effective proof? The law of demand is very important for substitute and income effective. So when the law of demand, that is, as the price of a good declines, consumers will buy more unit of the goods and the vice versa. Quantity demand of good increase, if we focus on the income effect, and if we focus on the substitute effect. The income effect is that price of good X is false, real purchasing power increase, quantity of demand X increase. Substitute effect, price of the competitive goods Y increase, consumer switch from good Y to the good X, quantity demand of the good X increases. So what is a basic assumption in economics? The motivation for the business decision is profit maximizations. To understand profit, what is necessary to distinguish between the way economics measure cost and the way accountant measure cost? What are explicit cost? Payment to the non-owner of a farm for their resources. What is the implicit cost? Implicit cost is basically the opportunity cost of using resources owned by the farm. What is an example of implicit cost? When a farm uses its own resources, such as the owner's labors, land, building, or saving, the farm gives up the opportunity of earning a return on its resources. What are the total opportunity cost? The total opportunity cost is explicit cost plus implicit cost equals to opportunity cost. These are the few of the economical basic things. By this way, we can understand the economy properly, and we can take some sort of good initiative at the present conditions. What is economic profit? Uh, Beside that, that economic profit is that total revenue minus explicit and implicit cost, or total revenue minus total opportunity cost. What is normal profit? The minimum profit necessary to keep a farm in operation. What about opportunity cost? A farm that earns normal profit earn total revenue equals to its total cost. It means actually explicit cost plus implicit cost. How is accounting profit defines? Total revenue minus the total explicit cost. What conclusion can we make? Since business decision making is based on economic profit rather than accounting profit, the that would profit in this text always mean economic profit. Here's I want to give an exhibitions. Let's say it's a total revenue $50,000 and economic profit $50,000. Wages and salaries will be 40,000 $400,000 and economic profit will be $400,000. Material cost 50,000 and 50,000 for economic profit. Interest paid off is a $10,000 and economic profit will be $10,000. Other payment will be $10,000 and $10,000. So less implicit cost, foregone salary, rent, and interest. So equals profit will be $30,000 and economic profit will be, as they have salary $50,000, rent $10,000, interest $5,000, it will be $35,000. What is a fixed input? Any resources for which the quantity cannot change during the period of time under considerations. What is a variable input? A variable input is that any resources for which the quantity can change during the period of time under considerations. What is the short run? A period of time so short that there is less one fixed input. What is the long run? A period of time so long that all inputs are variables. What is the production functions? The relationship between the maximum amount of output a farm can provide and various quantities of input. What do technology advance make possible? More output is possible from a given quantity of input. What is marginal product? The change in total output produced by adding one unit of a variable input, which all other input used held constant. What is the law of diminishing returns? The law of diminishing returns, basically the principle that beyond some point the marginal product decrease as additional unit of a variables resources and are added to a fixed factors. So if we want to understand this kind of what is the law of diminishing return assumes, after some optional level of capacity is reached, adding an additional factor of production will actually result in smaller increase in output. So here are some infos of labor input, total outputs, and marginal productions. If we provide one laborers, then we total get as a 10 laborers, and we start as a marginal production as a tens. If we input 2 laborers, then it will be total input will be 22 and marginals production will be 12. If we put 3 laborers, so total outcome will be 33 and marginal out productions will be 11s. If we put 4, total outcome will be 42s and the marginal productions will be 9. If we put labors 5, then our total output will be 48 and our marginal production will be 6. If we put as a labors is 6, then our total output will be 50s and marginal production will be 2. So if we focus on the total of the labors and if we focus on the total of the productions, so it's mean that when we put like 1 labors, we get 10 outputs. When we put 2 labors, we get total production 20. When we put 3, we get total productions 33. When we put 4 labors, we will get total production of 44s. When we provide 5 labors, total production will be 49. So when we put 6 labors, total production will be 50. So when we at the present pandemic situations, so when we put any kind of labors, when we put any kind of things in our productions house or manufacturing, this is the important things we have to understand. So quantity of labors, marginal productions. So when it's a quantity of labor is like one or something, then our marginal production is one. Marginal production is uh, 11. So when we go for the 3, our marginal production is declining. So when we put 8 labor, let's say this 5 labors, so our marginal production also decreasing. So the more we put labors, our law of diminishing returns, so our return also decreasing. This is the thing. So when we hire peoples, when we took peoples, we have to understand this point in a proper way. So when we do our business, we have to understand the total fixed cost, total variable cost, total cost, uh, average fixed cost, variable cost, and total cost. This is very important. So what is the total fixed cost? Total cost that do not vary as output varies, and there must be paid even if output is zero. For example, rent, interest on the loans, and proper taxes. What is the total variable cost? Total variable cost is the cost that at zero when output is zero and vary as output varies. Example are wages, electricity, fuel, and material. What is the total cost? The sum of the total cost and the total variable cost at each level of output is equal. Total cost is equal to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. What is average fixed cost? So average fixed cost equals to total fixed cost divided by quantity. What is the variable cost? Variable cost is total variable cost divided by quantity. What is the average total cost? So total cost divided by quantity, or ATC equals to uh, average variable cost past average fixed cost. So we have to understand. So marginal cost. So marginal cost is that uh, TC divided by Q. So this is one of the important things for the laborers and the labor market we have to understand. So this is the factor. So when we have total production is 1, total fixed cost is $100, and total variable is $50, so total cost is 150. And in that situations, that marginal cost will be 50, and average cost will be 100, 50, and 100, and 150. So the same thing, when we have a two productions, we have a total fixed cost is 100, total variable cost is 84, total cost is 184. The same things, total production is 12, total fixed cost is 100, and total variable cost is 612, and total cost is 712. So short run curve is that quantity of the product and the quantity of the cost. So quantity of the product is TVC and TC. So in the specific times when we have total output is 7 and we have total cost is around uh, 300, that time the total output, actually total output is it's increasing. So there are some short-term, short-run cost curve we are trying to understand. If we see this curve, there are quantity of outputs and there are cost per unit. So when we focus on quantity of output, we find that when we have focus on AFC, average variable cost, average fixed for cost, average total cost, and the marginal cost. If we see that this is the average total cost, and this is the average variable cost, and this one is average fixed cost. So in that situation, the marginal cost will be there. So average fixed cost is this point. This fixed cost is very important for the organizations. So this is the things that already we discussed. Total cost will be total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Marginal cost is change of total cost divided by change in Qs. Average cost is total fixed cost divided by Qs. Total average variable cost is total TVC divided by Q. ATC is equal to average total cost is the total cost and Q. This is very important because example, when you run organizations, when you run a specific things, we need to be very much smart to handle this kind of things. So marginal cost and average cost, it has a specific law. Marginal average has specific rules. When the average cost is greater than marginal cost, so average cost fall. So on the other hand, when marginal cost is greater than average cost, that average cost is rise. If MC is equal to AC, AC is at minimum. What is the relationship between slope of the MC and MP curve? The rising portion of the MP curve corresponds to the declining portion of the MC curve and vice versa. What is the relationship between minimum and the maximum point of MR and MP curve? The maximum point of MP curve corresponds to the minimum point of MC curve. So marginal cost mirror image is that output increase with MP rising is greater than MC falls. So output increase with MP falling is greater than MC rise. So marginal production cost, quantity of the labor. So if we saw already that marginal productions is decreased when we have a lot of laborers. So when we recruit people and we recruit laborers, this marginal productions curve we can identify it and we can understand. So marginal cost, so quantity of the output and the marginal cost. So if we focused on the quantity of output, if we say marginal cost, so marginal cost is when it's 12, it's also increase in many ways. What is the long run average cost? So long run, the curve that track the lowest cost per unit at which farm can produce any levels of output when the farm can build any decline plan, a plant size. The relationship between three factors, size and the long run average cost curve, is that the quantity of the productions and the cost per unit. So if we focus in that area, we can find that a-axis, when our quantity of output is 6, so our cost per unit will be B. When our quantity of output will be 12, our cost per unit will be 40. So this is another interesting things for productions and everything. So long run average cost. If we focused on the long run average cost, you can find the economic of scales, constant return to scales, diseconomic of scales. So what is the economic of scales? Cost per unit and quantity of outputs. So if we focus on that particular area, economic of scale is that a situation in which the LRAC curve decline as the farm increase output. And constant return to scale, a situation in which the LRAC curve does not change as the farm increase output. The diseconomic of scale is that a situation in which the LRAC curve increase as the farm increase output. So this is the important things, that how we recruit, how we produce, how we go for the production. This is the important. Beside that, example, that's why artificial intelligence, big data playing a very good roles, because they are actually this labor cost and labor output and different kind of things now they are controlling. So when we go for the labor cost, we can find that if we invest some amount of money in the artificial intelligence, they can give us more productive outcome for our manufacturing and for our organizations. So this is the way that how we actually focused on the economicals aspects. And by this way we can understand different kind of economical theme and issues. So thank you. If you have a specific questions for the COVID period, I just want to know that in the COVID periods that we are actually go in a difficult way. So in that situation, how we measures the market demands, as well as how we measures our labors inside our organizations, and how we do our productions and we deliver the production. This is also important in that particular way. I want to give the summary of the sessions, that if you focus on that particular production area, if you focused on that particular labor input, if you focused on your organizational fixed cost, variable cost, if you focused on your organizational marginal cost, then you can go and you can improve in different things. So first of all, I would like to request all of the small medium enterprise to all of the big corporations, you can focus on in this way. So Mohammad Sohail Rana, thank you for your very beautiful comments, that I am very grateful to science, technology and engineering for economics for the STE, for the uh, School of Talent Economy, for the opportunity to attend in the sessions. Thank you, Mohammad Shohelana, for all of your supports. Abiyaz Mustami, it's very helpful for us to maintain and expand the business. Thanks. Yes, for your business model, for your business development models, and for your business opportunity models, you can create and any kind of things we can work together. Definitely, we are ready to help your organizations. Shahrukh Shumons, your question is that, hello sir, after COVID, what would be the challenge faced by the fiscals and monetary authorities in the implementation of the policy? Very good questions. Mr. Shahrukh, please try to understand the present situation. What's the major problem of the present situations? This is the financial things, financial availability, money availability. Like example, if example, we find more unemployed people in our society, if we find more people they do not get their jobs, if we find our business they need to shut down, already 41% of the US economy, like different organization, they shut down. So what will happen? Let's say developing nations, they have very good like involvement with the developed nation. Let's say the Bangladesh garments industry, they have a dependency of with others. Example, Malaysia tourism industry, they have different involvement with others. When they have a different involvement with the other countries, and in that situations, if you do not get available business, if you do not get available financial sources, that time you have to face a lot of challenges. So in that situations, actually government has to provide lot of support to the organizations. Already different countries they are trying to do so, but government has to ensure that the small medium enterprise, small organization, they also getting their support. Also, on the other hand, big corporations also very important for them. So when they develop the policy, their major thing is that how many labors they have in their hands, how they can get more jobs, how they can get more opportunity, how they can create more sustainability. This is very important in their policy. Araf Mehraz, that is definitely a deep level financial management class, and which is very beneficiary for us. Can we get more details on this class? Thanks. Actually, like what my understanding and thing is that at present, the COVID situations, we have two major things. Number one, we have uh, healthcare related challenges, and every countries and every government, every healthcare system, they are learning their things. Second things, they have another challenges, and their challenges is that like financial things, economic things, economic business stability. So in that particular situations, those who can handle this kind of things, and those who can handle like this kind of challenging situation in a proper way, they can gain from the market. On the other hand, if you find there are many tech company, many biotech company, many organization, they are successful even in the COVID period. What the reason behind that issue is that demand. is what we are discussing today. Issue is the supply. Issue is that that we are involved with the you have to understand the demand and supply. We are discussing about the marginal cost. We are discussing about the fixed cost. So every organization has different challenge right now. So what you have to do as an intellectual community, we can engage with the corporations. We can help them. We can understand them not only from the classroom. We have to engage with the industry, because industry actually making a lot of business. They create opportunity, they create employment. So we have to be very much practical oriented. So we will discuss more on that topics, because economy, world talent economy forums, we more focus on the economy. And definitely talent economy is that with modern science, engineering and technology, how we can solve problem, how we can make a effective relationship with the organization, effective relationship in the global market. This is our objective, and this is the things we are focusing right now. And especially I do want to give special thanks to my team, those who are supporting me, especially Shohel, Rana, and all of my teammates, those who always encouraging me. So we will build up a real knowledge hub, and by this way we can solve this situation. So I request, with my School of Talent Economy, oh, the organization, those who need support, you can directly communicate with us, and we can help you to uh, create your labor intensive strategy, your marginal things, your fixed cost, your variable cost. And by this way you can gain more opportunity and you can survive in the COVID situation. That is the objective of School of Talent Economy. Thank you everyone, those who joining today. So if you have any other questions and if you have any other things, you can directly communicate with us. Thank you.